The following program is sponsored in part by To a Woman's Heart. The thoughts and views expressed by the following production don't necessarily reflect those of the network or any sponsors. Alright, so this is take 2, and I think I figured out the trick to this whole thing this time. Put the damn phone, excuse my language, into airplane mode so that nobody can call or text while you're trying to video and the video gets cut off. So anyway, this is the second video that I'm attempting to do for my kind of diary video blog kind of thing. But at any rate, I think I was saying before that it's a couple of days after the first book event, and that, as I stated, wasn't exactly what I had planned for in terms of having a moderate crowd of about 20 or 30 people. It was more like 8 or 9 of us, but it did make for a pretty good, intimate conversation, especially in light of some of the questions that we discussed. I kind of think that's what actually kind of scared a couple of people away, the idea of having to do discussion. But at any rate, it made for a great event. It was fun. It was definitely good practice for a larger event. We had awesome discussion, and it was really, really good just to see what type of support I had in terms of who showed up, who assured me of their support even though they weren't able to make it, and that whole nine. But at any rate, like I was saying also in the first take, which you'll never see because it's gone off to cyber oblivion, I'm attempting not to make this too much about the business side of things, even though that is pretty much like a third or hell half of my life these days in terms of everything I'm trying to do and keep up with. But at any rate, it's just an interesting place to be in right now after having even done that event and just kind of seeing, dreams come to fruition and dreaming bigger dreams and doing bigger things, and bigger plans and bigger aspirations, and learning, I guess what my target audience or who my target audience is, and who exactly to be reaching out to. So it's definitely an excellent place in that regard. But I have to admit, without trying to be too pessimistic, I am freaking exhausted. Anybody that knows me personally has just seen me running around and just a blur and dreads flying in the wind. And it's kind of had me at this place for a while now where I'm just moaning and groaning in my own soul and in my own spirit and thinking, Lord, I would love a break. I would love to just sit down or what have you. And to be honest, on some level, after looking at a couple of things and getting a great sermon from my pastor, Shirley Polion Hines, pastor of Resurrection Missionary Baptist Church, 7201 South Carpenter, Chicago, Illinois. I don't know the zip code, but you don't need all that. But anyway, she and Associate Minister Jonathan Simpson, and just even being in the congregation and the Lord and everything speaking to me, all of those different elements kind of spoke to me this Sunday. It just kind of reminded me of the whole adage of being not weary and well-doing, and not being anxious, be anxious for nothing. And the more I looked at things, I looked at how blessed I am to have these opportunities to be this busy, to run all over the place. And so somewhere in there, I guess he gave me a little bit of Solomon's wisdom, and I thought, better than to ask for a break from these things. I'd rather have the energy. I'd rather have the strength. I have the motivation. Basically, I just want the Lord to give me more. The more you give me in energy, the more you give me in resources, the more you give me in contacts, the more you give me in financial support, the more you give me in spiritual insight and wisdom and everything, the more I'm going to pour into these projects and into these ideas, which I honestly believe are motivated and ordained by you. And the more I will produce, and the more I will reach out and do those different things that will bless someone else's life. So that is my prayer right now, and I hope I'm leaving you all on a good note, a positive, upbeat note. And if not, try looking at the scenery. It helps me. One of my favorite places in the whole city. A little loud right now, but it's okay. But at any rate, so I'm going to sign off. Alright, hopefully you guys see this on YouTube. Rainbow Room Publishing presents Love, Something Infinite, read by the author, Eddie S. Pierce.
I was surprised to hear his voice crack over the sound of my own heart breaking. The sensation of infinity that we had always shared finally collapsed as our hands let go. I turned away for what I believed to be forever that day and closed the door behind me. Available now, Love Something Infinite. Audiobook coming soon. Visit rainbowroompublishing.com. And thank you, Ray Silkman and Silkscreen Productions for this classic track, So Sexual. Rainbow Room Publishing presents the Writing and Publishing Conference, Saturday, November the 11th, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., including presentations from the keynote speaker, Eddie S. Pierce Jr., the founder and publisher of Rainbow Room Publishing, LLC. More details to come. Thank you, Tony LaBelle and B Clan Productions, for this great track, Changes.